are in Leh for the special conversation with Honorable Mr. Mohammed Deen. He has been a positive change in this Ladakh region for years and years. From ecological farming to sustainable solar initiative projects, he has covered it all. With 11 completed projects, and not just that, 15 are still undergoing and hoping for the positive outcome. So let's dive into the story and let's see what it takes to do that kind of social progress in terms of ecological and environmental issues. Years we have always think that what could be the easiest thing to do that, and I guess he has all the solution for that. So definitely don't miss the conversation. Let's get started. How did it all started, sir? Like what inspired building of Ladakh Environmental Health Organization, the Leho Foundation?
It was in the year in 1980s. Me and my wife really saw a big change in Ladakh. It was a different Ladakh with very rich culture, especially agriculture system. We were almost self-sufficient for our food, rich culture, and we both observed a lot of things are changing. So we thought, here we need some organization, some sort of a people who would try to bring awareness among people that this fast changing is not so good. Especially our agriculture system, a lot of chemical fertilizers were being brought, and there was free distribution and a lot of publicity on that part, and the whole system was being broken down. Likewise, the tourism had started. It had a lot of impact on the society. We could see, the starting of the effect of the pollution, the changing in the society. That's why we really started this organization.
I'm just amazed because these are the things that we really need to focus on about the pollution. Tourism is a main factor, but yeah, there are some things that beyond requires more attention beyond tourism. So I agree on that one. What are the health and environment issues currently Ladakh is facing right now on a severe note that needs to be worked on?
Actually, the whole climate change is a global issue. But if you specifically want to see Ladakh, because of the tourism, the whole situation has changed. Annually, we are getting more than 300,000 to 500,000 tourists. And then, that also is very surprisingly comes in a very concentrated way. The whole tourism gets to few hotspots like Leh, Hundar and Pangong. With the result, there's a lot of stress on the environment, especially on the water, soil. So there's a lot of problem, mainly the tourism. Because of the tourism, it had the effect on our sustainable livelihood. Ladakh was practically a sustainable society. We had everything ourselves, food, housing, tradition, culture, very rich and very good. But because of the tourism, things changed tremendously, especially, agriculture. The people working in the villages had come out because when you get more than 300,000 to 400,000 tourists, you need a lot of human beings to tackle them. And in tourism, there's a lot of money. So there was a lot of migration from villages, youth especially. Migration were for 2-3 reasons. One was for studying. Children from the villages came to Leh or went out of Ladakh for higher studies. And secondly, a lot of youth for employment, government employment, and especially in army, because it's a border area, high altitude. So Ladakhis are perfect in the Indian Army. So a lot of youth went there. And then leftover came to work for the tourism. With the result, it really broken down the village system. Now our villages are not producing sufficient food, which we had been doing in the past. Unfortunately, if you look at the present situation of Ladakh in terms of the food, more than 90% of the food required for Ladakhis comes from outside. In Leh And in villages, it's about 85% of the food comes from outside. We are not producing, but this is not sustainable. We are totally depending on, something non-agriculture, non-sustainable. So because of this, not only that, because when you have so many tourists to come, a lot of transport needed for traveling for the tourists, for getting food from outside. Leh town has got at present more than 35,000 vehicles. It's unimaginable. We have a population of less than 35,000 in the city. I'm talking about Leh town. So that big number of transport system, and transport is one of the biggest polluter for greenhouse gases. And this all are very adversely affecting the environment. And what you can see significantly is melting of our glaciers. We had a lot of glaciers. When I was young, like a child, the weather used to be very cold. Every winter, we used to have a lot of snow. I don't remember any winter when we had not really thrown the accumulated snow from the roof. All of the family will go on the roof, we have to throw it out. But now, many times, you get very little snow. That's a big change, because our glaciers are melting. It cannot rejuvenate because the snow is not coming. It's a cycle. Snow has to come in the winter. It has to get accumulated there and get frozen. In the summer, when the sun comes, it melts. Like in rest of the world, rain helps for water because the forest helps for the rain, for water. Rain goes to the forest, slowly it comes into the cities and the towns. Here is the glacier. The snow comes, it has to go into the mountain, it has to melt in the summer. That cycle is getting broken. So this is a very severe effect of the climate change or the global warming.
The major problem, like you have mentioned about the transportation, that has actually been seen in the major cities, like you can assume like Bangalore, Pune, Mumbai. They're also dealing with the traffic issues, and because of that, how severely your city or your place can affect it. Even in the pollution, we have seen the Delhi pollution, how bad that city is ranks in pollution. So we understand totally your point, and your concern is very right. Tourist is a major source, but because of that, there are many things which are actually affecting the climate things, and it is actually breaking that cycle that you have mentioned. What are the challenges that you or your team faced while working in a tough region? Obviously, it's Ladakh. So, like helping, first of all, how did you, I would say, include communities to help you to go with that and, trust your process and help for your project or anything? Because people, if there are demand in tourism, if there are demand in many sectors, army, migration, so for the social reformers thing, this is, I think so, going to be major issue. How it helped that?
Actually, when we started many years, 35 years back, we had a project called as greenhouse development. It's greenhouse is a structure with a polythene sheet above, so you can produce vegetable during the winter. Here the agriculture season is only 5 months, so we introduce a lot of greenhouses, construction of greenhouses. That is, solar energy is used in the winter to produce vegetables. It became very popular. We did on the trial basis about 1,000 or something, and then probably it disseminated in the whole region. So in past, there used to be no green in the whole winter. Today, whole winter, you can get green vegetables produced from the greenhouses. This was one of the biggest things. Now this has multiple environmental effect. Vegetables for Ladakh has to come from rest of the country. So polluting all the way, the trucks are in the winter by air, it's more polluting. So we were able to produce a lot of vegetable. That was first contribution, people really liked it. And the government of India took the whole technology which we had developed, Ministry of Environment and Renewable Energy. So it was a big project. Followed by we had passive solar houses. That is constructing houses utilizing solar energy for winter. Then you don't need to use fossil fuel. For example, this building is a solarized building. In the winter, we don't use any external heating. The minimum temperature inside, we have recorded only 8 degree, when outside temperature is minus 15, minus 20 degree. So here, this was the second project, which was quite popular, environment friendly. Then, when we saw the tourism is dominating, and we cannot really go without tourism. Because if you look at Ladakh, why so much of tourists come here? Ladakh is a nature tourism. Here we don't have anything man-made to show to the tourists. Tourists are coming to see the nature. And this nature tourism is a unique nature, unlike, for example, Kashmir is a nature tourism. But nature like Kashmir is in many places. You go to Switzerland, you go to Australia, you go to New Zealand, even in Kerala you get a lot of that green and lakes and mountains, forests. That nature tourism, there are many in rest of the world. But our one is unique, You can find this sort of a tourism in Tibet, which is not ideal. Like you can also think about in Afghanistan, where we can't go. So the people are just coming here to see that nature. That means even in the future, tourists are going to come. Now, in addition that government is linking Ladakh with Kashmir, with the Zujila Tunnel, and railway line is being proposed by Government India from Himachal to this place. So it will be opened up, and I feel that more and more tourists will come. It's a very big place by nature-wise. We are more than 60,000 square kilometers. So I thought that, what I feel is that tourism is going to be there. People have to go with the tourism. Now, the important is how to make it responsible tourism, and which doesn't affect the environment at the same time. So there's a lot of scope, That's why we started an ecotourism project in my organization. We have taken up that in 20 villages. We have developed about 200 homestays. These are very environment friendly system. What do? We go to a village where tourists either don't go, few tourists come, try to develop 1 or 2 rooms, of the farmer. We select the farmers who has got 2 rooms and a bathroom. We try to give incentives from the project to develop that homestay. But we do an agreement with the farmer that whatever number of tourists comes to his house, he has to produce food locally from his lane, kitchen garden. He has to have a kettle to produce milk, curd, and all requirement. And also we give them solar water heaters, then the water filters, and that's all. He has to produce organic food. So this is one of the way I told you that agriculture is breaking down, to revive the agriculture and to produce more food. First, if they do locally in the village, because this is an example for the village, then probably the whole village has to produce. And now we are also fighting with the government to have a tourism policy where we could see that this tourism business is on the responsible principles on the lines. And now in the future, we are also planning that the electric vehicles, only solar lights in the rooms. So this is one way we are doing to try to do some awareness in the control of the environment. And then I told you, the biggest problem is if we are 2-3 lakhs population in Ladakh, UT Ladakh, 2-3 lakhs tourists, and equally army. For all that, every day, so many thousands of trucks have to come polluting. We have to stop this. And there's a possibility. Ladakh has a lot of wasteland. Right now, we have got about 20,000 hectares of land which is cultivated. But then it's very low utilization. There are more than 25,000 hectares wasteland available in Ladakh. We had not been using it because we depended in the past for water from the glacier. Glacier water, melts, comes into the village, you
Right, and then the cycle.
you have the land. But now there is a lot of technology. You have now submersible pumps. We have a lot of river running through the whole Ladakh region. We have 5 major rivers. Indus River here in Leh runs for 500 kilometers through Ladakh. It's very long distance. Likewise, you have got Shayok River, Nubra River, Suru River, Zanskar River. There's a lot of water in the summer. So there's water, there's land. Now, technology has come. The technology, and fortunately, Ladakh has a lot of sunlight. There's solar energy. So if you use this solar energy, pump this water, you can really cultivate all this barren land.
And with a low cost. You are
Yes.
actually, because if you are going to export or anything, bringing things from the outside, it is going to cost you heck lot of money.
Yes.
And everyone in the people couldn't be, possible to afford that. And why to bring that thing which comes with the transportation and many other things? We can usually avoid this. So that's a really good idea.
Yeah, that means future, if there's a policy where Ladakh should produce their own food because we have land, we should be able to produce food sufficient for the tourists and the army, then it will be a real sustainable development.
Yeah, it would be.
It would also contribute at a very large scale to the environment. When so much of greening, so much of carbon dioxide, this will be a big carbon sink.
Right. But this is an actual great idea. If that is going to happen, definitely, because if this project actually comes in the ground and it works the way we all are working and thinking about it, it would be I guess, the inspiration word of definition of key, how the tourism should be managed. And that is, in India, we still lack key. We just visit to some place and we just don't care about the responsibility that we hold as a tourist. So that is right. Working with the Ladakhi community, sir, what are the things that you have learned from them?
Oh, it's a very unique place. I really get a lot of times very emotional when you go to villages. You have so much of cooperation. The first thing you find is they're very sincere, very honest, very dedicated. Whatever we talk with them, they take it, they implement it, they work on it. And we never find, for past 35 years, we never find any problem with the people. I'll tell you one, story. Me and my wife, about 30 years back, had gone to a village where I was in the past in the government. We had developed a water canal, and it was to be inaugurated. We both were working in the village. My wife likes this apricot when it is not properly matured. So there was a tree. She tried to take 2, 3. I said, don't do. This is not fair. But she took 2 or 3. We went there. When we were coming back from that function, there was a lady standing at that tree. And in her, she had a cloth and a lot of that apricot. She offered to us. I said, what is this? She said, your wife or your partner liked it. So I thought if she likes it, I just want to give it. I thought because that particular canal was funded by us, that's why she is trying to give me the respect. Then I asked, do you know me? She said, I don't know. So that sort of approach people have in Ladakh. Here, wherever my wife has to go to meet somebody, she carries something to give it. We invite a guest. If they don't come to our house, they always bring a small gift, something very small, not expensive. But that is the feeling you have, that you want to give something, you don't want to take. People are very compassionate, very lovely people, I think.
Kindly. I have, recently, it's been just 2 days. And the kind of people we have came across in Ladakh is
Yes.
very kind. What has been your most challenging moment while working for you?
Oh, challenge is the change in the whole system. We never thought that Ladakh is going to change so quickly and get so big development and so many technologies, so much money and all. It's unimaginable for me, for the whole Ladakh. In past 15, 20 years, it completely revolutionized in terms of economy because of the tourism in the army, because we have always a conflict with two places, Pakistan and China. And then a lot of jobs opening, a lot of roads, buildings, all these vehicles and all. It's something I can't think about, where I'm already 80 years. I've crossed my 80 years. But in the past 80 years, I've seen when we started my life, we had no money. We were living in a very small house, hardly to eat, but we had very good sustainable system. All food was produced in my own farmland. We had been eating it. But this sort of a luxury, this is something very, whole change was very amazing to me.
Youngsters or anyone who wants to be, start working in social cause or anything, how they can start with it? What would be that first step?
I tell you that, this social work is very interesting. If you start doing it, you get so much of interest and so much of satisfaction it gives it. A lot of people should come and join the social work. And I've seen that if you really want to contribute something to the society or to the development of the region, then funding comes automatically. I've seen people come from other side, okay, we would like to. But then most important is you have to be dedicated, you have to be honest. If you have to be sincere, because NGOs normally don't have that culture. Here in Ladakh it's totally different. We take care of every money. The strength of our NGO is honesty, transparency, and openness. If that is there, whatever youth, whosoever youth want to do and come in this, should have a sincere understanding of the problem and try to solve. Because in the government and in the society, there are a lot of problems, small problems here and there. People don't get attention, and that really remains unsolved. The NGOs going there, trying to link people with the government, link groups of people together, and can bring a lot of changes. So there's a lot of scope for youth to work in this sector.
I agree. If you had to describe Ladakh spirit in one word, what would it be?
Oh,
Anything, what do you think?
compassionate,
I would also read that.
People love, respect, people share, Here you don't find a beggar. There are no beggars in Ladakh because people give cooperation. It doesn't mean everybody has a food to eat, but the society helps. So, and also the unity among Ladakhis. I found Ladakhi people remain united. We have still joint families. That nuclear family, under compulsion. If somebody is got appointed, gone to some place and living his wife, or in a small family, but normally joint family. The society also is very, jointly they work for the development for the society.
What do you do outside of work to recharge yourself? Because it's been a heavy duty with really less recognition, and you just need to focus every time 24/7. You can't say it's a 9 to 5 thing. You just need to be available 24/7. So what do you do to recharge yourself?
I actually am very regular and do my yoga and exercise very regularly. I try to write something about myself. Today, if you have a meeting, then I'll have my own reflection. I try to write it down. And then, whenever I get time, I just go out in the nature to understand and to be calm and quiet. And also I do prayer. I believe in the whole system. So I normally try to remain positive all the time and try to utilize my time right from morning till evening. I don't really go with, your mobile, things like that. But a little bit, of course, no doubt. But a very control system, and that helps me a lot.
Looking ahead, what is Leho vision for the next years?
We are trying to look at this climate change. This is the only biggest problem. We thought that there's a scope that if we bring a lot of awareness, it can have an effect. As I told you, Ladakh has a lot of barren places. We can do a lot of plantation, and people are really accepting this challenge. The revival of agriculture is the biggest challenge for Leho. So we will have to do a long, sustainable system to bring back the environment, because the amount of greenhouse gas release is getting more and more every year. So if we do it locally, whatever we can do, doing greening, planting, and also, not utilizing much of this polluting factors like using a lot of vehicles, and you can use public transport. And we're trying to tell the government that in the future Ladakh could be completely electric vehicle. So it's a small place, it can be, because the tourism can also play a role. If we have a lot of buses running in Leh on this electric buses, and in future probably it has to be on that way. And then we have the solar energy. We have a lot of water here. We can produce hydroelectricity, solar electricity. This all will contribute in long term to the environment. So that's what Leho is dreaming at.
If you had to pick, what would you like? Would you rather spend a day farming in Ladakh, or would you go for the trekking in mountains? What would you choose as a Ladakhi?
I would love to go for the trekking. It's very interesting if you are all alone walking, seeing the nature, seeing the life on the desert, or maybe in green. There's a lot of things to see in the nature. If you see the nature, talk to the nature, you really enjoy it.
You really enjoy. We, as a tourist, how can we contribute in your mission, or basically in sustainable tourism? Like, what could be our responsibility? What basic things we can do?
The important for the tourists, we'll have to calculate your footprint right from the carbon footprint, right from the day you started coming over here. You can see how much carbon you have released because of your coming. So right from the point of destination where from you come to this place, to minimize carbon emission, means that you travel by train, electric train and all, to the possible places, and then try to use public transport like buses that will help, instead of just driving your own car. Or this air is also very polluting. And then once you reach to Ladakh, you have to respect the local requirement. Here, normally when you go to the hotelier will change your bathroom, this toilet, linen, towels every day, which is not needed in Ladakh because it's a cold place. So you can tell them, for 2-3 days. Of course, the first one have to be fresh one, a washed one. Then for 2-3 days, you doesn't need it. You could try to stay in these hotels where you have solar water heater systems, so that the other take the message that yes, the tourists, prefer renewable energy utilization, because that is the most important thing. And then, while traveling, there's a lot of people do a lot of pollution. They don't respect the environment. So these are some simple things probably the tourists could do.
Yes. I hope we follow. We, in sense, all the community of tourists, we follow the rules. And yeah, respecting the communities that you have just entered in, any place you go, you just need to, respect the communities, and you need to mold your daily lifestyle, what you used to live in cities and how you used to live in mountains or any tourist place you go. I agree with that.
How can individual visitor or organization can support Leho? How can they do that?
Yeah, whatever objectives we have, you have a similar, those people who just want to really go on that line, they can do physical volunteerism, they can contribute financially, and also they can suggest, do discussion on our activities, on our concepts. They can give technical, today's technological, era. So technical inputs, for example, website development or what we are doing. For example, you have come, you want to show the world what we are doing. So this is one of the contribution. So that way probably the people can come and work with us.
If you had one message for the world about Leho, what would it?
I would say try to reduce greenhouse gases wherever possible. Just switching off your room light when you are not using, when you are on the TV, you are not seeing the TV, switch off. Whatever way it is, if you are smoking, stop smoking. Wherever possible to reduce the carbon emission, I think that would only contribute to this global warming or the climate problem. That what Leho is trying to do all the time, try to bring awareness among the people.
I agree because in cities, like I'm in Ladakh for 2 days now, and I feel that sometimes I also started taking privilege. Like I don't consider my privilege that I live in a city. What kind of things I have, and like it's basic. If you have done with your charging, you can switch it off, and it's just little things you can work on, non-smoking areas, and I still don't know why people smoke in pub. I still really don't know, and I agree with that. This is important, and thank you so much for having. Literally, it is my pleasure to have that conversation with you. The thoughts about environment and the Ladakh thing, I really need to know more about it, and I guess there would be no better person than you.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
जी, मेरा नाम टाशी थोकमेट है। मैं दोमखर गाँव से हूँ, लद्दाख के दोमखर गाँव से। और ये जो दोमखर गाँव जो है 120 किलोमीटर टू द वेस्ट डायरेक्शन फ्रॉम लेह सिटी। और मैं इस लेहो संस्था के साथ पिछले 33 साल से जुड़ा हूँ। और इस संस्था के साथ जुड़ने के बाद बहुत ऐसे विषय पे काम करने का मौका मिला जो कि लद्दाख के लिए तो ये जो इश्यूज़ है कंसर्न है ही है, बल्कि जो दुनिया के लिए भी ये बहुत ही वो लाभदायक मैं मानता हूँ। जो कि जैसे ग्लोबल वार्मिंग जो अभी आजकल उसका असर हमारे लद्दाख में बहुत ही बुरी तरीके से तरह से मतलब इसका इफ़ेक्ट होने लगे हैं। तो ये जो संस्था जो लद्दाख इन्वायरमेंट एंड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लेहो ज़्यादातर इस इन्वायरमेंट को मतलब सेव रखने की उस विषय पे हम बहुत सारे काम कर चुके हैं अभी तक। जैसे कि लोगों में अवेयरनेस जनरेट करना और कम्युनिटी को तब तक ये कम्युनिटी उस पर कंट्रीब्यूट नहीं करते हैं जब तक उनको अवेयर ना हो। तो इनको अवेयर करने के लिए हम हर गाँव में ड्रामा की तरह ड्रामा के ज़रिए सॉन्ग्स के ज़रिए और लोगों को गैदर करके इंटरेक्शन हर जगह हम करते आ रहे हैं। ये जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन उसके साथ साथ वाटर कंजर्वेशन पे आर्टिफिशियल ग्लेशियर और रिजर्वायर टैंक जैसे बहुत सारे ऐसे काम हमने बहुत सारे गाँव में लद्दाख के गाँव में अभी तक कर चुके हैं। 3 मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव है। एक तो हमारे एग्रीकल्चर रिवाइव हो, दूसरा जो है वातावरण ठीक रहे, तीसरा जो है यूथ को गाँव में इनकम आए। ये जो 3 मुद्दे लेकर हमने इसको किया हुआ है। तो आगे आने वाले सालों में उम्मीद करता हूँ कि हमारे लद्दाख ऑटोनोमस हिल डेवलपमेंट काउंसिल हम सब मिलके एक मतलब टूरिज़्म पे एक पॉलिसी डेवलप हो ताकि बिल्कुल एक लद्दाख के हित में बल्कि पूरे वर्ल्ड के दुनिया के हित में जो जहाँ पर इन्वायरमेंट साफ हो, हमारे संस्कृत और एग्रीकल्चर वो सब मतलब बने रहे, मतलब प्रिजर्व हो और डेवलप हो, प्रमोट हो, ये हम करते आ रहे हैं अभी तक। तो आगे भी हम थोड़ा सा इसमें ज़्यादा ज़ोर से हम करने के लिए इच्छुक हैं।